Have you ever wondered why some people seem to breeze through retirement while others struggle despite saving for decades? The difference often comes down to one crucial number that most people discover far too late. I'm talking about your replacement ratio, and if you've never heard of it, you're not alone. But here's the thing. By the time most people realize they needed to know this number, they've already lost years of opportunity to do something about it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what this silver number is, why financial advisors don't always emphasize it enough, and most importantly, how you can calculate and use it right now to transform your financial future. Let's start with a story that might sound familiar. Meet Sarah, a hardworking professional who did everything right. She contributed to her retirement account every month, never touched her savings, and lived modestly. At 62, when she was ready to retire, she had accumulated what seemed like an impressive amount. But within the first year of retirement, Sarah realized something terrifying. Her lifestyle had to change dramatically. The vacation stopped, the dinners out became rare treats, and the financial stress she thought she'd left behind came rushing back. What went wrong? Sarah had focused entirely on accumulating a large sum without understanding her replacement ratio. Your replacement ratio is the percentage of your pre-retirement income that you'll need to maintain your desired lifestyle in retirement. Most financial experts suggest you'll need somewhere between 70 to 90% of your pre-retirement income to live comfortably. But here's where it gets interesting and where most people make critical mistakes. This isn't a one-size-fits-all number. Your personal replacement ratio depends on your unique circumstances, your lifestyle expectations, where you plan to live, your health situation, and dozens of other factors that make your financial life distinctly yours. Think about it this way. If you're earning $100,000 a year before retirement and your replacement ratio is 80%, you'll need $80,000 annually to maintain your current lifestyle. Sounds simple, right? But calculating how much you need to save to generate that $80,000 every year for potentially 30 years or more, that's where the magic and the mathematics come together. This is the silver number that changes everything, because once you know it, you can work backward to figure out exactly what you need to do today. The problem is that most people approach retirement savings backward. They save whatever they can afford, hope for the best, and assume it will work out. It's like setting out on a cross-country road trip without knowing your destination or checking if you have enough fuel. You might make it, but you're essentially gambling with your future. The replacement ratio flips this approach on its head. Instead of saving blindly, you're saving with precision and purpose. Let me break down why this number is so powerful. First, it accounts for the reality that your expenses in retirement will be different, not necessarily lower, but different. You won't be commuting to work, so transportation costs might drop. You won't be saving for retirement anymore because you're already there. But healthcare costs typically increase significantly. You'll have more time for hobbies, travel, and activities you've postponed for years. Some expenses disappear while others emerge or expand. The replacement ratio helps you see the complete picture rather than making dangerous assumptions. Second, this number forces you to confront an uncomfortable truth about inflation and the rising cost of living. A dollar today won't have the same purchasing power in 20 or 30 years. If you need $80,000 in today's money, you might need considerably more in actual dollars when you retire. The replacement ratio calculation, when done properly, incorporates inflation and gives you a realistic target. This is why people who ignore this number often find themselves shocked at how quickly their savings deplete. Now let's talk about how to actually calculate your personal replacement ratio. Start by looking at your current annual income and your current annual expenses. Be brutally honest here. Track everything for at least 3 months to get accurate numbers. Many people think they spend less than they actually do. This miscalculation can cost you dearly. Once you have your true current expenses, project how those expenses will change in retirement. Will your mortgage be paid off? That's a significant reduction. Planning to travel extensively? That's a significant increase. Do you have hobbies that require investment? Factor those in. Next, consider your guaranteed income sources in retirement. This includes Social Security, any pension you might have, rental income, or other reliable streams. Subtract this guaranteed income from your projected annual retirement expenses. What's left is the gap you need to fill with your retirement savings. This gap divided by your pre-retirement income gives you a preliminary replacement ratio. But we're not done yet because this is where most calculators stop and where you need to go deeper. You also need to account for taxes, which many people forget. Your retirement income will likely be taxed differently than your working income. Depending on your retirement account types, whether traditional or Roth, your tax situation could vary dramatically. You'll also want to build in a buffer for unexpected expenses, medical emergencies, helping family members, home repairs, or opportunities you can't predict today. Smart planners add an extra 10 to 15% cushion to their replacement ratio. Here's something most people never consider. Your replacement ratio isn't static throughout retirement. Early retirement, what financial planners call the go-go years, typically requires more money. You're healthy, active, and want to enjoy the freedom you've worked for. The middle years, the slow-go years, often see expenses stabilize or even decrease. Then the later years, the no-go years, might see expenses rise again due to healthcare and potential long-term care needs. Sophisticated retirement planning accounts for these phases and adjusts the replacement ratio accordingly. Let me share another critical insight. The earlier you calculate and understand your replacement ratio, the more options you have. If you're in your 30s or 40s and realize you need an 85% replacement ratio, but you're only on track for 50%, you have time to adjust. You can increase contributions, adjust your investment strategy, consider side income, or modify your retirement timeline. But if you wait until your late 50s to do this math, your options become much more limited and often more painful. You might have to delay retirement significantly or accept a lifestyle you never wanted. There's also a psychological benefit to knowing your number. Financial anxiety often comes from uncertainty, from not knowing if you're on track or how far behind you might be. Once you calculate your replacement ratio and build a plan around it, you replace that vague anxiety with concrete knowledge. You might not love what the numbers tell you, but at least you know where you stand and what actions you need to take. This clarity is incredibly empowering and motivating. Now, what do you do with this information? First, calculate your target replacement ratio using the method I've outlined. Second, determine how much you need to save based on that ratio. There are online calculators that can help, but consider working with a financial advisor who can personalize this for your situation. Third, audit your current savings rate and investment strategy. Are you on track? If not, what changes can you make today? Even small increases in your savings rate now can compound into significant differences over time. Fourth, revisit this number regularly. Your life changes, your goals evolve, and your replacement ratio should adapt accordingly. Review it annually or whenever you experience major life changes like marriage, divorce, children, career shifts, or inheritance. This isn't a set it and forget it calculation. It's a living number that guides your financial decisions throughout your working years. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. Hoping for the best is not a retirement strategy. Assuming things will work out is not a plan. The silver number, your replacement ratio, is the difference between a retirement you control and a retirement that controls you. It's the difference between confidence and anxiety, between freedom and constraint, between the retirement you've dreamed about and the reality you might face. The people who retire successfully are not necessarily the ones who earn the most or save the most in absolute terms. They're the ones who understood their number, planned around it, and took consistent action based on that knowledge. They're the ones who started early enough to let compound interest work its magic, who made informed decisions about their savings rate and investment allocation, and who adjusted their plans as life changed. So here's my challenge to you. Don't wait another day to calculate your replacement ratio. Sit down this week with your current income, your current expenses, and project your retirement needs. Be honest, be thorough, and be realistic. The number you calculate might be uncomfortable. It might require you to make changes you'd rather avoid. But I promise you, the discomfort of knowing now is nothing compared to the devastation of discovering too late that you're unprepared. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Every month you delay is a month of compound growth you'll never get back. Every year you spend without knowing your replacement ratio is a year of potential course corrections you've missed. The silver number isn't just about mathematics. It's about giving yourself the gift of choice, the power of knowledge, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're building towards something real and achievable. Calculate your replacement ratio today, adjust your plan accordingly, and take control of your financial future before it's too late. Your retirement dreams are waiting, but only if you take action now. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.